Hello everybody! I took a lot of photos this past year. More photos than I've probably ever taken in a single year, but I was just so filled with energy to go out and shoot, and that still fills me to this day right now in 2025. So we're gonna take a bit of time to look on 2024 again and talk about some of my favorite photos. This idea comes from a friend of mine. His name is Jeremy. At the beginning of every year for the past couple years, he's done a video of his favorite photos that he's taken in that past year, and I thought, I've been taking a lot of photos, I should do the same thing, so I'm stealing that idea. So I've chosen 10 photos to talk about, and they are my favorite photos that I've taken all year. But I'm not showing them in any particular order. It's not like a ranked list. It's mostly just the order which I felt flowed best for like talking about these images. So let's start off with this photo. Right, this is a photo of me, and I don't particularly like photos of myself. So the story behind this one is this was taken on the Hasselblad 203 FE. That's right, I own a Hassie. It's probably the last camera I will ever buy, not counting upgrading from a specific model of camera to a newer version. But in terms of new cameras, new systems, that's probably the last one. That's like the holy grail for me at that point. This shot was one of the first pictures I took on it. This was sometime in June or July. I don't remember the exact date, but it was a night where I couldn't sleep. I was having an incredibly insomnia-filled night. It was the night of actually where the Porter Robinson record came out. I've talked about this series of events a little bit in a previous video that we called the Summer Crisis. This happened during the middle of all of that. So I was laying in bed, unable to sleep, just watching some interviews or a stream of Porter's record. There was a moment where I just had like this, I don't want to say out-of-body experience, but like I became very aware of what I was doing and what position I was in, like how I was laying down, and I basically saw myself, like this overhead view of myself in that spot, and I just thought, that's a photo. I was like, the way I saw myself is pretty much exactly how I saw this photo, how it came out. It was, again, one of the first photos I took with the Hasselblad, and it ended up being something that I liked enough that we used it as the centerpiece for this art show that I was part of. And not only did it become the centerpiece for like that art show, or for my part of that art show, I used it somewhere else, which I'll get to later in the video, I'm sure. Anyway, let's go on to the next photo. This is another photo I took on medium format, but it was not on the Hassie. It was a little bit earlier in the year. This was on this other medium format camera I have, the Pentax 645N. Around this time, I was getting really into learning about formats other than digital and 35mm film, and I really wanted to try out a medium format camera. So I had done a lot of research and figured that the 645 format of medium format would be a good place to start. My first shoot for it was a photo walk that one of the local film labs here was having for Pride Month. We were walking around and taking pictures of the architecture and the people on the beach, and this was a photo that caught my eye, and it's a very pleasing photo. It's like very symmetrical. The colors are like pop a lot. The guy walking through the frame kind of just like perfectly splitting the frame, but also like his stride kind of matches like the angle of the lifeguard house legs. Like it's a really cool image, and I'm really proud of that one. Now for my next photo, this one's a little bit of a cheat because it's not one photo, it's two photos. But I can't possibly separate these two photos. These photos are a pair in my head, and they weren't a pair when I shot it, but after seeing them and after editing them, these photos belong together, and there's no possible way that I can talk about one without talking about the other. This was during the solar eclipse of 2024. I traveled to Buffalo because I've always wanted to see a total solar eclipse. It's been something that I've dreamed of seeing for a while. I love space. I love the moon. I love all that stuff. And when I heard that there was going to be one in the United States this year, visible to a place I can easily get to, I had to do it. So I rented some gear, flew to Buffalo, technically flew to Canada and then took a bus from Canada to Buffalo. So these stood out because when I was editing them, as you can see, the first image is a bit orange, and that's because of the filter I had on the camera lens. It's basically the equivalent of the eclipse glasses, and that filter casts a really orange hue on the light. So you could have corrected for it, but I liked the way it looked. Later on, as I was editing other images, later in the eclipse cycle, I came across this one, and this one was, as you can see, mostly blue. That's because at this point I had the filter off. It was dark enough where it was safe to take the filter off the lens. So, of course, daylight is more blue cast, and the natural daylight was coming through in this photo. And when I saw this photo next to the orange photo of the partial eclipse, something just clicked. The contrast in the two colors, the clouds in both the images, the fact that the sun was basically in opposite sides of the frame for both, it felt like they just complemented each other perfectly. Continuing on with my journey into medium format, here is another photo I took on the Pentax 645. This is a photo of my friend Sam. Now, as probably a lot of you know, I love taking portraits. I love taking pictures of people, whether they be pose portraits, street portraits, people just living their natural environment, lifestyle photography, I think is what some people refer to that as. But I love taking pictures of people. And this was at the opening for Sam and her sister Sarah's art show. They're ceramicists, and they had a whole bunch of work to show off at the show, all based around their roots of being Cuban American and their being children of immigrant parents. And I was just capturing different moments of them celebrating their work or other people enjoying their work. And this one of Sam just like doing the Rocky pose in front of a ceramic piece based off Rocky, which you can't really see because the other person in the photo, another friend of ours, is blocking that part of it, but like that's what she was doing, and I happened to just catch that moment. What I particularly like about this photo is like the layering in it. I saw our friend Xandor taking this photo of Sam. In that moment, something just clicked where I was like, I need to get a photo of him taking a photo of Sam, and I just liked that like 3 layers of separation. Also, like the stark whiteness of the background, because the wall was a very bright white. It's something that I think I ended up really liking in this photo as well. I'm not usually into like these really like bright white high contrasty images, but something about this just fit. All right, now let's scale down from 120 film down to 35mm film. I also have a 35mm film camera. It's a Canon, and I shoot on that thing a lot. I love shooting film in general. So this photo was shot in New York, actually technically New Jersey, while I was there for a family gathering. This is not the actual family gathering, obviously. This is just me walking around a town called Cliffside Park. In fact, this might have been a town called Edgewater, which is like just adjacent of Cliffside Park. But yeah, I was walking down the pier and the little area they have there that goes alongside the Hudson. While I was on the pier, I saw these 2 men. As I took the shot, the guy sitting on the steps looked directly into the lens. When I'm doing street photography and I'm taking photos of random people on the street, I find it really fun when they notice me and just look dead in the center. And so I have a lot of photos like that, and this is one of them. As soon as I took that photo and put my camera down, he gives me this like, but yeah, no, it's super fun photo, and that entire trip was a fun trip, a fun family trip, which I actually have another photo on this list related to that trip. In fact, it's the family event that we went to, so let's take a look at that photo instead. This was at my grandma's 80th birthday party. That's why we were in New York and New Jersey at this time. The majority of the family came out so we can just celebrate this day all together. And I figured, there's not many times where 1, all the family's together like this, and 2, we're all like dressed really nicely. So I was like, this would be a perfect time to take a bunch of nice photos. And this particular shot was soon after my grandma walked in. It was a surprise. This was after that, where my uncle just went up and hugged her and was like, rubbing his face into her face and, messing up her glasses and all that stuff. Like, it is so emblematic of the relationship those 2 specifically have. He loves to just like mess with my grandma, and capturing that on camera in this perfect way was just like, mwah. Again, one of my favorite shots of that entire night. And there's a handful of really good ones, but if I had to pick one, it's probably that one. But since we're talking about family and hugs and all that stuff, what better way than to transition into this photo? See, what a perfect segue. Yeah, no, this photo was something I took in a street photography session. We were at a park that was all lit up for Christmas. I was there with a couple friends, but yeah, I grabbed this shot. There's a nice bit of contrast in this image. I love the red pink of his shirt against the blue of the baby's cap. The really bright lights compared to like the really dark background, and it's again just a nice moment that otherwise is gone unnoticed by basically everyone else was in that park. It was just a moment between the dad and that child, and I was able to capture that. And that's another thing I like a lot. Just like capturing little moments that otherwise would just disappear, right? But yeah, really, really pretty photo. So on to the next one. You're not getting a segue for this one. This is just a photo I like a lot. A photo of a dog, a very pretty cute dog. Her name is Bailey. She is my friend's dog. We were out at a park doing a little photo shoot because she wanted to have some nice photos for Christmas with Bailey. So, we took a handful of photos in different locations, and I happened to see this little quieter area in the corner of the park, really nicely shaded, and it had this stump. And I thought it'd be really nice to get a picture of Bailey in this area. And if we can get her to like put her paws on the stump, that would be even better, but I wasn't counting on it. But lo and behold, we were able to do it, and this image is just so, oh my god. I can't express how cute this image is. Just her looking up, just slightly off camera the way I like, her little bow, and of course that little piece of greenery just kind of floating into frame. I'm just really proud of this one. I don't know what else to say. A lot of the mindset I have when taking pictures of people, I also apply to take pictures of animals, because like, to me, there's just it's the same thing. I'm taking a picture of someone or something living just their life in the moment, and it's fun to capture that. But we're gonna move on to another photo of another dog. This time, my dog. I say my dog, quote unquote. This is my sister's dog. This is Remy. She is the most precious thing in the entire world. I love this little cute adorable dog with all my heart. There was a period of time where she was living with us, and whenever I would get a new piece of gear or a new roll of film that I hadn't tried out yet, or I just had a couple extra shots on a roll of film that I needed to get rid of, she would be my subject. And so I have a handful of photos of her, but this photo of her is sitting along the couch, along the top of the couch by the windowsill, which she just loves to do. And yeah, I just happened to be sitting with her as she was doing that, and I saw her look over, and I just thought she looked so pretty. It's a little underexposed in like the top right-hand corner. As you can see, some of those shadows are a little muddy there, but I still like how it came out. I think it doesn't detract from the photo at all. If anything, it adds to it. So yeah, one of the cutest photos I have of Remy. Anyway, time for the last photo, which is my favorite photo of the year. So let's just take a look at it right now. This is a photo of my friend Kat. We were out for her birthday at the Museum of Sex here in Miami. So we were exploring the place with our friends, and we found this spot with a handful of mirrors, and everyone kind of stopped and took a handful of photos with each other. And in that process, I, as I do, just kind of like to put myself in weird corners and try to find interesting angles of things. And I happened to catch her coming out from behind of one of the mirrors as one of our other friends was taking a photo. And this was one of those photos where the moment I took it, I knew it was a good photo. That doesn't happen often. A lot of times, the process of me finding what was the good photo comes in the process of editing it. This one, I took it, and I looked at it, and I was just like, that's a really good photo. I really love the vibe of this photo. Again, just like the slightly off-screen look, the lighting being so dark but so vibrant and colorful, the way the mirrors are reflecting all the different lights, and how that one mirror in the foreground just kind of cuts right through diagonally. It's almost dreamlike, this image. This photo was also a crowd favorite. Basically, anyone who saw this photo thought it was a great photo. All our friends thought it was a great photo. This photo was one of the photos that was in the art gallery that I took part of, and a lot of people complimented that photo. I can let the imposter syndrome kind of get a hold of me a lot of times, but hearing so many people express an enjoyment from all my photos in general, to be honest, but having such a universally positive reaction to a photo like that helps me go like, all right, you know what? this is a good one. So that's it. Those are my 10, technically 11 favorite photos from 2024. I'm still taking a lot of photos. I already have a handful of photos from 2025. So we're gonna keep that ball rolling and see what else we can take photos of, and hopefully do this again next year. But before we end the video, I do want to take a little moment to talk about this other photo projects in addition to this video that I wanted to do or have been doing. So because I had so many photos from this past year, just choosing 10 to put in a video isn't the only thing I wanted to do. I wanted another way to showcase a bunch of photos that were really emblematic of my 2024. So to that end, I made my first photo book, and that's this guy. This is the yearbook 2024, because I really wanted something physical to like represent the past year, because the past year has been kind of a crazy one, and I mean that in a positive way. And I wanted something for that. So I'm not a particularly good at journaling. I'm not particularly good at like keeping track of things I've done in the year, but I do take a lot of photos, and I figured that's what my journal could be. It could be a photo book just full of photos that I took within the year, and I want to do this every year from now on. So this is the first one. And it's the only copy. It's not like a photo book for people to buy or anything like that. This is for me and for the people close to me and my friends and family to see. But I just wanted to point it out because I'm pretty proud of it. I'm really happy this came to fruition, and I'm excited to do it again at the end of this year. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just gonna keep on taking more photos and making more things that make me happy. Anyway, bye-bye.